Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to AJ111 Criminal Procedure. My name is Tony Farrar, and I am going to be your instructor for this semester. Just briefly, a little bit about myself. I have over 34 years of law enforcement experience, retiring in December of 2015 as the Chief of Police for the City of Rialto Police Department in San Bernardino County, California. My education consists of a master's degree in police administration, a master's degree in business administration, and a master's degree in criminology and police management from the University of Cambridge Institute of Criminology in Cambridge, England. And we'll talk a little bit more throughout the semester on what it's like to go to school in the UK. It's actually kind of cool. But this morning's lecture is going to cover the syllabus review. Now, it's very important to remember that your course check-in consists of two parts. The first part being the discussion board check-in, and the second part being the syllabus quiz. Now, with that being said, don't forget to review the entire orientation module, and encompassed inside of the orientation module, as you will see at the end of this lecture, I'll show you what the Canvas shell looks like. You will find the check-in and the syllabus quiz. But enough with that. Let's go ahead and jump right into the syllabus review. So, again, this is AJ111 Criminal Procedure. The section number is 3472. We are, of course, in the fall 2020 semester, and this is the online version of the course. Right beneath the title there, right here, if you're following along, I have my instructor information. I am assigned or work out of the Menifee campus. Listed there, I have my desk phone number, my email, and also my Twitter account information. Below that, I have two important links to a couple of websites, which I think you will enjoy. The first being the Criminal Justice Club. There's a link to the MSJC Criminal Justice Club Facebook page. And that's a group of individuals that like to study together, that like to learn about criminal justice. Sometimes they do study groups or deal with other issues that are relevant or even sometimes controversial in the criminal justice field. So if you want to learn more about that group, you can go to that particular Facebook page. And then the next one beneath that is the Career Ed website, where you can find a little bit more information on not just the umbrella of criminal justice careers, but also link up with counselors, etc., and figure out how to best find your path or pathway into one of the many, many careers that are falling under the umbrella of criminal justice. Beneath that, I have my office hours. My office is located again on the Menifee campus in the 3000 building. The room number is 3003. If this were an on-campus course, I have on-campus office hours, but because this is an online class, you can see here I have office hours on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. And typically those will be office hours unless they change. Sometimes they do change, but typically I like to keep things the same. But there might be a change, and if there is, then I will notify everybody directly, and they will know of the change. Along with that, along with the office hours, keep in mind that we are going to have a couple of synchronous meetings, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that means in this lecture. I'm also available at other times by appointment, so if you need to make an appointment to see me, that's fine. Email is, in fact, the best way to contact me, and here we are in the middle of the page. If you do email me, please do me a favor. Place AJ111 3472 Criminal Procedure and your name in the subject line of the email. So I have an example using my information. As you can see, for our AJ111 4372 Criminal Procedure. And the reason for this is because of the fact that I teach so many courses. This really is the best and the most expedient way to make sure that I know who you are and what class you're in. And that will help me get you the information that you're looking for back to you a lot faster than trying to figure out what class you're in, etc. With that being said, please note that all emails should come from your MSJC email account. Along with that, if you are requested to submit a written assignment in Canvas, and you are going to be, so this is important, please submit it in Microsoft Word. If you submit or upload a document in another word processing format, say WordPerfect or something else, or you send it through a third-party software system like Google Docs, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to open or read it. And if I can't open it, I can't read it. If I can't read it, I can't grade it. So it's important that we work together to make sure that things come through in a consistent fashion. Finally, if you do not know how to set up your email or you need any type of assistance, please notify me. And if I don't have the answer, I will refer you to the college help desk for assistance to help you get all of that stuff set up. One final note regarding the syllabus before we move on to the next page. Just keep in mind that this is a living document, meaning that it is subject to change during the semester. As I previously mentioned, I don't like to change things, but sometimes there is a need for a slight adjustment or change. If there is such a change, you will be made aware of that change when it occurs in the form of either an email or an announcement via Canvas. If you have any questions at all regarding the course or anything else, feel free to email me direct, or you can post the question in an area for general questions in the discussion board area called the Donut Shop. And if I can't answer it, perhaps even another student might be able to answer it. But either way, you have a couple of different options, and I'll show you where that Donut Shop discussion area is at the end of this lecture, because I'm actually going to take you into the course Canvas shell for a couple of minutes. I would suggest that you also keep a hard copy or a digital copy of the syllabus for your review in case you need to refer back to it. Also, all assignments and due dates are listed in the syllabus, and because of that, it is your responsibility to read and follow them. Please note that it's not my responsibility to remind you of tests or quizzes or any type of other assignment, since all of that information is contained within the syllabus. Now, with that being said, yes, I'm going to remind you. I typically send out weekly reminders once or twice during the week, and might even annoy you because you're getting all of those reminders, but I'm doing my best to kind of help you remember things. But at the end of the day, just understand that it really is your responsibility to keep track of your assignments and those assignment due dates. Okay, so what is this class that we're taking? The title is Criminal Procedure. So this course examines criminal procedure from arrest to the final adjudication of the case. So that entire process. It also looks at the principles of constitutional, federal, state, and civil laws as they apply to law enforcement. So we're going to look at all of that and how the two intertwine. The course also focuses on the procedural aspects of the court system, all the way from the arraignment through the preliminary hearing, through jury selection, through trial, through jury instructions, and either an acquittal or finding of guilt and sentencing. So everything in between. And some other procedural topics such as direct or cross-examination, things that happen within the courtroom. All of that is going to be looked at. So a lot of good information coming your way. I have listed here the program outcomes for the Administration of Justice and Corrections program. Next would be the course learning outcomes, and then finally the course learning objectives. I'm not going to go through each one of these individually. I will let you look at those at your leisure because I want to move on to the textbook. So the book that we're going to use this semester is going to be titled Criminal Procedures. It is the 3rd edition. The publisher is Sage. There is a 4th edition, but if you happen to have the fourth edition, that's fine, but the third edition will work just fine. I wouldn't recommend going to the second edition because there are some rather large gaps between the second edition to the third edition. So either the third or the most updated version, which would be the fourth edition. Next would be the California Penal Code. The Penal Code is not a primary textbook, and if you don't know what the Penal Code is, it's a book of laws along with all the sections that apply to the laws and the punishments that go with that. So every state has their own code. So Texas would have their Texas code, and California has the California Penal Code, and Florida would have the Florida Penal Code, etc. So again, it's not a primary textbook, but we are going to be referring to that book from time to time. But if you don't have a copy of the Penal Code, that's okay. And if you do, great. But if you don't, you can access the information online. And this will help you as we discuss several different codes and how they apply to the law and the courts, etc. So I've included a link to a website called legalinfo.gov. And you can see it there on the page, and you can click on that and you can find any of the California codes that you need. Now let's talk briefly about the course check-in. So here we are, if you're following along. The course check-in will open on Monday, August 17th at 8 a.m. And the way that the course is structured, and you'll see that when I show you the course canvas, the course runs in weekly modules. So here, the first week, the orientation week, it's going to open on Monday, August 17th at 8 a.m. When it opens, and during the next 6 days, please make sure to check in using discussion board number 1, or the check-in, as your official check-in for class. But don't forget, as part of the check-in procedure, you're also going to need to complete a short 10-question syllabus quiz. As I said before, there's 2 parts. You will have until Sunday, August 23rd at 11 p.m. to complete these 2 items. Go through the entire orientation module, familiarize yourself with the Canvas shell, do the discussion board check-in, and take the syllabus quiz. You have 6 days to basically do all of that. Failure to complete the check-in process, that means both parts, will result in you being dropped from the class. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that, and hopefully that makes sense to everybody. So some quick course guidelines. This is a somewhat fast-paced class with a lot of reading, not too much, but a lot of reading and information that's going to be given to you, provided to you weekly. So because of that, I need you to keep up with the readings. Don't just rely on the PowerPoint lectures to get through the class. Now, some of the legal terms, because they're new to you, maybe they're not, but for some people they might be a little difficult to understand. Therefore, you need to read the textbook chapters fully to understand those terms and see how they fit in the context of the chapter. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. In some cases, you may also have to look up a word or a term on the internet in the Penal Code. Remember, we talked about that, or even in a law dictionary. But if you have a problem with any concept whatsoever, or any definition or key term or anything else, let me know, and I will discuss it in Canvas in the discussion area. Again, this isn't a super easy class, but it does require a lot of work on your part to do well. However, this class can be and will be extremely rewarding from all of the knowledge that you're going to gain about the courts and the court system, things that you probably didn't realize. So what are some expectations then as far as the course itself? Well, all the students in the class are going to be expected to participate and complete a variety of different activities that will focus them towards achieving the learning objectives, and those are going to include the following. These are the expectations. Number 1, reading the material, the PowerPoints. the lecture notes, the articles. Yes, I know, the textbook chapters. Number 2, viewing the weekly videos relating to the chapter. There's going to be introductory information into each chapter. Make sure you view those. Review the PowerPoints with audio. I do audio lectures just like we're doing right now. So I'll walk through the PowerPoint lecture and narrate. Okay, and the case study videos and the discussion board videos. Number 3, participating in what I like to call thoughtful and timely discussions via the discussion board, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Number 4, completing the online matching exercise or assessment. And this is something new. This is in every single weekly module, you will have a matching exercise. It's non-graded, and it's there to help you learn the key terms. So you'll see a key term, and on the right, you'll see a bunch of definition. Your job is to match them together, and you can take that assessment as many times as you want. It's not graded. And again, it's there to help you learn those key terms or those definitions for each chapter. Number 5, complete the online and timed quizzes. Number 6, complete the online and timed exams. Number 7, complete the case study. And number 8, finish or complete the midterm writing assignment. Now, just another note, failure to participate, and here we are right down here, in the discussion boards, missing quizzes or exams, or failing to turn in any other assignments, or missing a combination of these activities may cause you to be dropped from the class. So please keep up with all of the information. And again, I will send out reminders, but it is your job to keep track of those due dates and assignments. I talked earlier very quickly about synchronous meetings. And synchronous meetings are basically meetings where we're going to have a time, a date and a time to get together as a class. So during the semester, we're going to have several opportunities to meet synchronously together at one time online via Zoom. Now, these meetings will be announced well in advance, so you have time to kind of organize your schedule, etc. But these will be opportunities for everyone to exchange information, ask questions, cover major topics, and just have discussions about current events, etc. And I think you'll find them exciting and fun. So how do you know then that you're ready for online? For some of you, this might be your first online class. For others, maybe you're a pro at it and you've taken several online classes. But at the end of the day, please make sure that you are ready for an online class. Now, you've already read about the expectations, but you do need to make sure that you understand what is really expected of an online student. And to help you out a little bit more, I've included 2 links to the MSJC website. The first is a link to the online learning page. And the second is a link to the same page, the online learning page, but where there are several video tutorials and other related information to help you not only navigate Canvas and navigate an online course, but to also help you assess your readiness for online learning. So hopefully that will be helpful for you. Next, let's talk a little bit about technology, and here we are on the page. We're at the bottom. So you are responsible for your computer equipment and internet connection independent of the campus. So what that means is that you will need to plan your coursework to be able to accommodate any type of computer-related problem or issue. So if something happens on the college end, like Canvas goes down or something else on the college side happens to where you can't access something, don't worry about that. I'll make sure that we have plenty of time or add extra time or whatever is needed. But on the other side, meaning on your end, I need you to make sure that you have a backup plan. And that you don't just wait till the end of the week when all of your stuff is due and then you have a computer problem. So again, the technology end on your end, it's incumbent to make sure that you have a backup plan for that. And to also help you when it comes to navigating Canvas, I've listed some of the more functions or the functions that are typically used more. So for you to be successful in this course, I really think it's important that you check your Canvas at minimum 2 times per week, maybe a little bit more, but at the very least that 2 times per week. Look in all the areas to make sure that you're well informed about assignments. And here are a couple of areas that I think that you need to focus on, okay? The first one will be modules. And this is the area right here that we're in. And this is where your weekly assignments are going to be located. And to help you, I'm going to title each module so you're going to know exactly which week the information is for. So, for example, Module 1 might be titled Unit 1, or you might see Week 1/Unit 1. And in that module, it's going to contain all of the assignments that are needed to complete in Week 1. And these modules, they'll house all the info like the audio lectures, the PowerPoints, the links to videos, the articles, the exams, the quizzes, the discussion boards. All of that is there. And the reason that it's all put in that little weekly folder or module is to make it easy for you to be able to find everything. So you're not clicking around all over the place having to search for assignments. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Next would be the discussions area. And this is where group discussions are going to occur on different topics. And I'm also going to have a discussion board for general questions called the Donut Shop. Yeah, go figure. And we'll talk more about donuts later. And in there, I might post just some basic information, or I might post a link to a controversial type subject or topic, or something that I want you to read, or to a video that I want you to watch, because we're going to talk about it a little bit more. So this is going to be in the content area. Next, we have announcements. This is where you're going to find announcements for the class, including any relevant information on changes to exams or quizzes, or our synchronous Zoom meetings that we plan on having, or any other upcoming information that I need you to know about. Next would be the gradebook. The gradebook function, this is where you can monitor your grades as they're posted. Now, if you look in your gradebook and you don't see a grade, before you email me, make sure that you actually turned it in. Because sometimes that is the problem, that maybe you were so busy with a lot of stuff that you forgot to actually post the assignment, therefore it wasn't graded and there's no grade in there. That may also alert you to the fact that you missed an assignment. The time frame may have already gone by, and if you see a blank or a 0 in there, that means that you actually missed a weekly assignment. So that's the important part of being able to keep track of all of those due dates. But the gradebook is important. And the last thing on the gradebook, the course goes by points. We'll learn more about that in a few minutes. Don't follow grades on percentages, because sometimes they're not completely accurate. The course is going to be graded off of points. And then finally, extra credit. This is the area where you can find any of the extra credit assignments. Now, you'll see in the syllabus there's one extra credit assignment already listed. There might be more, but right now we have one, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And sometimes those extra credit assignments are date specific, so make sure you read the directions, the instructions on when that assignment is open and when that assignment might close, so you don't miss the time period in between where you can get the assignment done for extra credit. So how are we going to learn all of this stuff? So it's going to be with lectures. Again, I do the video lectures. We'll look at news articles, different visual aids, videos, PowerPoints, the class participation in Zoom, the class discussions, the written assignments, quizzes, exams, all of that to help you. Also, you're always welcome to attend, as I said before, any of the in-class presentations from any of the guest speakers that I have in my face-to-face classes. And as those come forward, I will make sure that you are notified in advance. One last thing, don't forget again to look in those in the module areas for those key term assessment exercises that you can do. Again, they're not graded, but they're going to help you learn the key terms. If you need any type of academic support, this is available to all students at the LRC at MSJC. Now it's online also. There's also counseling online, or you can get further information through the help desk. We are trying to bring back our AJ tutor this semester. We've had one for the past couple of semesters. I don't have the updated information on who that might be in this semester, fall of 2020, but as soon as I get that, and right as class starts for the semester, I will put that information out to you. The school website, please check Canvas and your email at least twice a week for class announcements, PowerPoints, assignments, information relating to the class syllabus, links to articles, and all that other cool stuff that I'm going to be sending out, including things like job opportunities and testing areas and things like that. But again, at the end of the day, just another final note, it's your responsibility to monitor Canvas for any class or assignment changes. Now let's take a quick look at student conduct. So this is the code of conduct for MSJC is available in the catalog, and I really do encourage everyone to read it. If you don't have a catalog, you can look at one in the library, the enrollment office, or you can find it online. My big thing, because we're an online course this semester, please do me a favor and watch or pay particular attention to your language when we're using the discussion boards or similar. Now, typically there are there aren't any problems, but I just always want to put that out there. Understanding that discussion boards are where we learn. Everybody has maybe different opinions on things, and if we all have the same opinion, what a boring world this would be. And we want to learn from all these other opinions, and we want to encourage individuals to share their opinions. So there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with somebody, but please do it professionally and understand that we want everybody to participate. So with that being said, we'll look at one more thing on online etiquette, and then we'll take a quick peek at the exams and quizzes. So, excuse me, next up is netiquette. Now, netiquette is a kind of network etiquette, or etiquette of cyberspace is kind of the cooler verbiage. In other words, it's a set of rules for properly behaving online. Now, author Virginia Shea has defined the issues and discussed them at length in her book titled Netiquette. And you can, if you want, you can view a brief summary of her core rules of netiquette at the following website, and I have the link there so you can go there. But understand that those aren't going to answer all of the netiquette questions, but they will provide you with some important basic principles to use in solving many different dilemmas as it relates to social media and the internet. In addition to that, I've posted some information on where you can go to find good case law or case information. So the below sites, Cornell Law and SupremeCourt.gov, can help you look up different cases that you might be required to research or to know. So hopefully that's helpful as well. Okay, so now let's get into the fun part. Well, maybe fun for me and maybe not as much fun for everybody else, but hey, here we go anyway. So exams and quizzes. So the quiz and exam questions, and here we are if you're following along, will come directly from the textbook, the lectures, the PowerPoints, the audio lecture, designated articles or videos. And each week at minimum, you're going to have a reading assignment, a video lecture, that's the PowerPoint, a short 10-question quiz covering the corresponding chapter, and either a discussion topic or fact or fiction. Sometimes I title them fact or fiction, and sometimes it's just a discussion topic. Now, in addition to that, throughout the course, you're going to have 3 other chapter exams, a midterm writing assignment, and a case study. Finally, in each one of the weekly modules, remember, there's going to be that matching self-evaluation exercise that covers the chapter key terms. Again, it's not graded, and you can take the evaluation as many times as you want to help you learn all of those key terms. So now let's talk a little bit more about discussion boards. So discussion boards are typically what I call reflective in nature. And because of that, they are meant to make you think about a certain subject, maybe even research it, to consider other perspectives, and then after all of that, to provide a response. In this course, you're going to have a total of 14 discussion boards and 1 course check-in discussion board, so 15 altogether. And each of those discussion boards is worth up to 10 points. Now, when responding to discussion boards, make sure that you read the information or watch the corresponding video or read the article. And then, after you're done with that, respond with what I like to call a complete and well thought out response. So for full point credit, your response must be at least 5 sentences in length. Also, don't just copy a response from another student's post. The more focused and thought out your response, the more points you're going to get. Don't just respond with "I agree" or something similar. Really, tell me what you think about whatever it is, whether it's a fact or fiction or true or false or whatever the question happens to be. Tell me what you think. Now, with that being said, feel free to respond or comment on another student's post. And here you can say, "I agree," and explain why, or "I don't agree," and explain why. Because this is how we get the discussion conversation going. So hopefully that all makes sense on the discussion boards. Next, we have the case study. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole case study, but your assigned case study for this class is going to be the Curtis Flowers case. And this is an individual that has been tried several times for a certain crime, and I don't want to spoil it because it's actually pretty cool. But all the directions and information are there, including what I want you to look at. So you can see that I want you to research this case a little bit, and when you'll look in the intro, there'll be a video to help you out as well. But I want you to answer these basic questions, and down below is some of the instructional information on how you're going to write that. Your extra credit case or extra credit assignment is going to be on the Golden State Killer. And again, I have a bunch of information, and in your course canvas, you'll see where these are located at. I'll show you where they're at. The same information as on your syllabus is located in the canvas as well. And I also give you the information that I want you to answer or to address. And in this particular case, because it's extra credit, you can submit this assignment in a couple of different ways. You can do a written piece, you can do a PowerPoint, which is kind of cool, you can make it kind of neat, or you can even do a video presentation. So different ways to do that. So we're getting closer to the actual schedule, and then we're going to jump into the course canvas. But I wanted to kind of readdress this. This course, again, follows a weekly modular format. So again, all the information, the lectures, the PowerPoints, the quizzes, exams, discussions, etc., and all of that stuff is going to be posted in those modules and available on Monday mornings at 8. And then all of that, whatever the assignments are in that module, it's all due by the following Sunday night at 11. So as an example, to kind of clear everything up, this class will officially open on Monday, August 17th at 8 in the morning. You'll have until Sunday the 23rd at 11 p.m. to complete everything in the week 1 module. And I'll show you what the module looks like. Now, as a general rule, there are no makeups for assignments. And the reason is because you have 6 days to complete each of the weekly assignments. Therefore, it's up to you to get the work done on whichever days you decide or whatever times you decide to set aside to do that work. Now, along with that, yes, I understand stuff happens. And things come up and emergencies, etc. Emergencies and all those other things will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. And off the top of my head, emergencies are things like jury duty or military deployment or some type of verified medical emergency. But again, keep in mind, it's your responsibility to make time, set time aside to complete the assignments. Please, please, please do not wait until the last minute. Again, while I will do my best to remind you of due dates, to the point of annoyance, it still is your responsibility to know when everything is due and to plan out your week accordingly. So let me just quickly talk about a couple of reasons that I see that online students have issues, and then we'll look at the grading stuff. So there are 3 main issues that I see with online students who tend to experience problems. The first is the inability to keep track of due dates. You need to be able to self-pace and regulate, meaning keeping track of assignment due dates and not waiting until the last minute to do them. Number 2, thinking that because there are so many quizzes and discussion boards that missing one, missing that, no big deal, it won't matter. Well, it really does matter, because missing assignments will start to add up. And before you know it, you're behind. And then finally, set up your electronic devices to receive notifications or other important announcements once they're sent out or posted. It's really important that you do that. And then one final helpful hint, on the weeks that you have your larger chapter exams, you're also going to be required to do your weekly quiz. Every chapter has a quiz. Every chapter has a discussion board. But when you have that one of those weeks, you might have your chapter quiz, your discussion board, but then you're going to have your chapter exam. Do the chapter quiz first. If you do well on the quizzes, I promise you that you will do well on the exams. Okay, enough said. So here's the grading scale, and you can look right here. But I wanted to show you the assignments so you can get kind of a visual. So you have 3 chapter exams. Now also note that the exams, they're not cumulative. So the exams are going to cover the chapters that we previously did. So for example, chapter exam 1 will cover the first 5 chapters. Chapter exam 2 will not cover the first 5 chapters. It will just cover the next 5 or 4, however many are built in there, and we'll look at that. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're not going to make you, on your final, you're not going to have questions from chapter 1 or 2, or I'm not going to make you go back and think. We're going to cover just those important items that we have just gone over. But here are the chapter exams. So you have 3. You have your chapter discussion boards. There's 14 of them. You have the discussion board check-in. You have the syllabus quiz check-in. You have the midterm paper. You have your chapter quizzes, your case study, and this is your total possible points. And then keep in mind, okay, that the above point total is subject to change. I typically don't, but you never know. I may add or remove an assignment, a quiz, or a test, or increase or decrease the number of questions, and I may throw in more extra credit. You never know. Again, your final exam is not cumulative. It only covers the chapters that are assigned. So, and again, we talked about there's an extra credit assignment already posted. Next are some important dates that I will have you look at your leisure. If there are any issues relating to the class, or you need any assistance or anything else, please email me directly and I will assist you. Mount San Jacinto College abides by the American with Disabilities Act and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 that prohibits federal and state agencies or programs from discriminating against qualified individuals with disabilities. Students in this course who have a disability that limits a major life activity which may have some impact on your work in this class and for which you may have received an accommodation should meet with a counselor in the DSPS area as soon as possible. Or if you need something else from me, email me directly and I will assist you in any way possible. My job is to make you successful in this class, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. The written assignment. So we have a written assignment and there's an assessment rubric that's posted in your Canvas course shell. I'll show you where that's at. We're not going to go through the entire thing, but your midterm paper is going to be on the Supreme Court. And as you can see here, I've listed what I want you to write about. This is all the information on what's important and how your paper is to be structured. And then please note that I'm also going to post in Canvas an instructional video on how to complete your paper in APA writing style. We'll talk about examples on formatting the cover page, the abstract, the reference page, and I will also show you a step-by-step color-coded guide on how to cite and format your reference page. So don't panic. It'll all work out fine. And then again, we're also looking forward to having another AJ tutor this upcoming semester. I don't know who it is yet, and as soon as I get that information, I will send it out, and you will be able to meet with that individual online at various times, and they will help you with your paper should you need it. Talk briefly about plagiarism, copying even a part of a sentence from an article, a textbook, a news story, or a paper without acknowledging the source, or using quotes if needed is plagiarism. And even copying or just changing a word or two is still considered plagiarism. If you need more information on that, you can go to plagiarism.com and they can help you out. My rule of thumb is if you didn't think of it yourself or it's not common knowledge, cite it. If in doubt, cite it anyway. And then there's some other information here that you can look at. Okay. So now we're going to look at the course outline, and then we're going to take a look at the Canvas shell and we'll be done. So here again, remember we talked about week 1. So in week 1, this is and it'll look the same way in Canvas. Here are the dates. We open on the 17th, we close on the 23rd for this week. Okay? In this week, this is what you're going to accomplish. The course orientation, you're going to look all the way through the orientation module. Within that orientation module is going to be the discussion board check-in and the syllabus quiz. Week 2 is going to cover chapter 1, or in this case, unit 1. Chapter 1, unit 1. You can see how it's going to open at 8 a.m. on the 24th. It's going to close at 11 p.m. on the 30th. That's a Monday. That's a Sunday. We're going to cover Introduction to Criminal Procedure. In this module, you'll have the video lecture, you'll have a PowerPoint, you'll have the key term assessment, you'll have an introduction area. There might be a video or an article for you to read. You'll have a chapter quiz and a discussion board. Next week, you can see how it looks. Here, let's go down to week 6 where there's an additional assignment. So in week 6, we're going to cover chapter 5. We're going to look at probable cause and arrests. Same thing as the other ones. You're going to have the video lecture, the PowerPoint, the key term. You'll have a quiz. You'll have a discussion board for chapter 5 because that's how you learn about chapter 5. But you have an additional assignment this week. It's the chapter exam. So you have an additional graded assignment. And then as you go through, you can see week 11, you've got another chapter exam. And we can kind of go through all of these. Week 12, you can see when your midterm paper is due. Hopefully this kind of all makes sense, and then you can go all the way to the end. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the syllabus, let's look briefly at the actual Canvas shell. So this view is going to be a little bit different. This is the instructor view. But when you log into Canvas, into your shell, you're going to look at something very close to this. This would be the home page, and you can tell because it says criminal procedure and this really cool banner right here. On the left, you won't have as many navigational tools as I do, but you will see this. You'll see some buttons here where you can go look at the syllabus, you can look at the modules, you can go to the donut shop. Remember I told you about the discussion area. A little bit about the class, a quick video on the AJ department, a description of the course, the program outcomes, the course learning outcomes, the learning objectives, a little more info about me, and a cool picture, and then a little video on Canvas. So if you're really not familiar about Canvas, here is a quick tutorial on how to navigate Canvas. Now, typically you would start here and you would click that and it'll take you to a page with more information, but I wanted to go to the modular view. Now again, your view will look a little bit different, but these are the modules that I talk about. So the home page is a module. Week 1, it's the introduction week. It has all of this stuff. So you need to go through everything here, and we'll click through these one at a time and I'll show you what it looks like. And in this week 1, again, is the discussion board and the syllabus quiz. Inside the modules, again, I have some information on the Criminal Justice Club, some cool websites, the Bill of Rights, court systems. We'll talk about the Perkins survey. This module has all of your midterm writing assignment information, including the assignment itself, how to upload the paper, the video lecture on how to do the midterm assignment, and a PowerPoint. Here is your case study. And then here is week 2, which is chapter 1. And I wanted you to see this view. Again, your view may not be the same, but you'll see the overview, the introduction. Matter of fact, I'll click on this. And I'm going to kind of move this back over so you can see the view a little bit better. So when you go into chapter 1, you're going to see the overview of the chapter, some of the objectives, a to-do list. And then when you click, it's going to move you to the chapter introduction. It'll give you a very quick introduction. And here we have a video for you to watch on the court systems and how they work. Then you'll click down there and you'll move through. Here's going to be the video lecture. So this is the actual video lecture, just like I'm doing right now. So you can play that. There's closed captioning if you need it. If you go to the next one, you can just look at the PowerPoint. If you don't want to hear my voice and you want to just look at the PowerPoint without me talking, that would be here. Then you can click on that and you can go. Remember I talked about the matching exercise, the self-assessment? That's what this is right here. When you're done with that, you click through this. Here's the quiz, the weekly quiz. And when you're done with the quiz, you have your weekly discussion board. And it cuts off here, but that's okay. But you can see how it looks. It gives you the objectives. It tells you exactly what your discussion is going to be. When you're done with the discussion board, you'll end up with the "Hey, you made it" page. That's what a module looks like. And you can just click and go right through it. It makes it very, very simple. If you go to discussions, remember I talked about the general discussion board being like the donut shop or what have you. I don't know if I have it posted. I don't think I posted it, so I have to apologize. I'm doing this video before during the summertime, so in here you will find the actual link for the donut shop. So this is the course check-in discussion that you saw a few minutes ago. So we'll make sure that we get that posted. All right, well, I hope that kind of helps you a little bit. And so you can see, and we're back to the home page. Do yourself a favor, walk through the entire orientation process. Inside of the orientation process, remember, is the check-in. There's 2 parts. It's the discussion board and the syllabus quiz. And with that said, I think that will conclude our syllabus review lecture. I'll talk to you more as we get into week one. But again, I will see you in just a week or so, or next week when we get into our first week of the course. Again, AJ111 criminal procedure. So until we talk again.